Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys we're going to be talking about a topic that I guess for the most part has been discussed throughout the history and course of Yu-Gi-Oh! And that is, should Konami get the player base more involved in making decisions about Yu-Gi-Oh! Now I'm not talking about, card design or, things that, we could make super broken cards and Konami would make them for us. I'm not talking about that or things of that nature. I'm talking about simple, little, teeny things that I think in the long run would help Konami out and also help us out as players and make us happy. Because if Konami makes a good product that we want to buy, we're going to buy more of that product. Konami's going to make a profit, etc., etc., etc. So let me just give you some examples that I wish Konami would get the player base more involved, and some suggestions I would have if I talk to a head at Konami. So I believe, and I've always said, that it takes too long for the OCG support to get to the TCG. It takes way too long. It takes sometimes up to 2 to 3 years before it actually comes out. It's way, way too long. And I believe that if Konami on the OCG imports asked players, okay, you get to choose for this set, 2 OCG exclusives, and the 2 most voted on OCG exclusives will be coming into that pack. And you could even make a stipulation if you wanted to that it had to be in the last year. So, for example, you couldn't bring Nodin into the TCG because that's only been out for a half a year, but you could bring out the Heraldic Beast support or older support like that, like Gaga Sister, if you wanted to bring it out in July because it's been out for a year in the OCG, things like that. So you could have stipulations, but you could get the players involved, to rally behind, we would like Gaga Sister and, Heraldic Beast number 17, I believe it is, coming to the OCG by voting on it because it's been out for a year or something of that nature. You could also get the player base more involved in sets that you release, just reprint sets in general. So like Gold Series, 5Ds, things like that. You could get the player base more involved by asking and having polls and asking online, which card would you like to see the most of? Which cards would you like to see out of these 20-odd cards reprinted in this pack? What cards would you like to see reprinted in Gold Series number 2? What OCG support cards would you like to see coming over? Because for the most part, I think if Konami did this, we would be so appreciative. We would feel like we had a say in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! That we have a stake and a say in the game that we love and enjoy. Other little things I think Konami could do for some extent, I guess you could say, they could just ask our general opinion about what they think should come off the ban list or what should be banned. Now that gets a little bit sticky in that situation because everybody has a different opinion and everybody has a different voice, and as Konami has shown in the last couple of ban lists, they don't really take charge. They just let the power creep deal with it, and they don't really touch the ban list that much. So honestly, that could be a problem, but I think if they just asked for a opinion, like a poll, what cards would you like to see maybe hit, or what cards would you like to see off the ban list, or what card would you like to see, banned cards would you like to see errata, for example. So simple things like that, like, hey, I would like Sangan to have an errata, and I'm just using Sangan as a example here. So say they did a poll and they asked, what banned cards would you like to see errata for? Because look what they just did with the OCG. They brought like a lot of banned cards, did erratas to them, and brought them back into the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! They brought Chaos Emperor Dragon back in the OCG. I always swore upside and down that if Chaos Emperor Dragon ever comes back and becomes legal in the TCG, this old man may have to retire from the game, but if they're going to do a errata to it, maybe I can make an exception. But that's been a running joke with me and my friends for years, that if Chaos Emperor Dragon ever comes back, I have to quit the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! The game's gotten too crazy for me then. But if they make an errata to it, maybe I can make an exception. But that's beside the point where I'm talking about in this video. So, there's different things Konami could do to get the player base more involved. They could even do a poll asking what archetype would you like to see support for in the next year? And sometime in that, set format of the next year, they release, gadget support or, what other support? Dark Magician support, Blue Eyes White Dragon support. You name it, they could release it. Choose these out of these 5 archetypes. Out of these 5 archetypes, we'll choose archetypes, and we'll give support to that archetype in the next year. And they could do that. It could just be underdeveloped archetypes from back in the day, like Junks, like what they've done with Junks, Heroes, Blue Eyes, Dark Magician, etc., etc. Gravekeepers, the New Age 6 Samurais. The list goes on and on and on. So that is what I'm just saying. I think there is a whole bunch of ways that Konami could get the player base more involved in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! By asking simple questions. It's not super hard, and by doing this, they could probably turn a profit, because they could say, people want Konami Never Disc more than anything in this upcoming Gold Series set. So we'll make it a secret. We'll make it really hard to pull, and that way people will buy more boxes, and the stuff that people didn't vote on as much, we'll make it less expensive. I mean, there's some shady things Konami could do. I'm saying I wouldn't hope they would do that, but they could do that with the information. But I think it's all upside for Konami to some extent, and it's all upside for the player base, because they could even make import sets like they do in Japan. But they don't do that here for the OCG. I mean, the TCG here. They do that for the OCG, but not for the TCG. I don't get it. Because the OCG, each year, they get all imports in like a special pack. That doesn't happen for us. And so I don't get why Konami hasn't jumped on that bandwagon. But I will admit that over the years, Konami has slowly improved and done a better job at managing these things. And I mean, we always complain about Konami, what they could have do, or what they could have not, what they don't do, or what they do. But I think for the most part, they've done a pretty decent job. The only thing I would have to complain about is the really spike in power creep. It always felt like power creep went like this, and now it feels like it's going like that, like an upward slant. But that's another video for a different day. But besides that, I mean, they've been doing pretty decent, but I think they could improve upon it by asking the player base and getting it more involved. So tell me down below, guys, what ways can you think of that maybe I did not mention that you think Konami could benefit, and we could benefit as the player base by, Konami asking us certain things. And until next time, guys, take care. Have fun dueling. Good luck dueling to all of you guys. I hope you're having a great holiday season, and good luck dueling to all of you, and I'll see you guys next time. Seto Kaiba, I'm out of here, guys. Till next time. Take care, everybody.